The neighborhood was serenely quiet. Houses stood bathed in the moonlight, their inhabitants lost in slumber. It was the kind of place where doors were left unlocked, a testament to the prevailing sense of security. In one such house lived a young man, content in his solitude, finding comfort in the quiet routine of his life. He had always been drawn to the peace of his surroundings, the gentle hum of crickets, his nightly lullaby. One particularly still night, the silence was broken. A series of soft, measured thuds reached his ears. Someone was walking in his backyard. He dismissed it at first, attributing the sound to his imagination. The rhythm continued, however, growing more distinct, more insistent. Unease crept in, a prickling sensation at the back of his neck. He strained to listen, his senses on high alert. The footsteps seemed to be approaching his window. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through the facade of his composure. He found himself drawn to the window, compelled by an unwelcome curiosity. His hand trembled as he reached for the curtain, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs. Peeking through a gap in the blinds, he tried to make sense of the darkness outside. His breath hitched in his throat. Standing mere feet away was a man, his gaunt figure barely illuminated by the moonlight. He was unnaturally thin, his clothes ragged and dirty. His face was pale, almost skeletal, a stark contrast to the unsettling grin stretched across it. The man's eyes, wide and gleaming, seemed to bore into him, a mixture of amusement and malice in their depths. He felt paralyzed, frozen in place by a fear so profound it stole his breath away. His mind raced, torn between the urge to flee and the strange inability to tear his gaze from the stranger. Should he call the police? Before he could make a decision, the man took a step closer. His smile widened, becoming grotesque, a parody of genuine mirth. Then, slowly, deliberately, he raised his hand and knocked on the window. The sound was sharp, shattering the silence like a gunshot. He stumbled back from the window, his heart threatening to burst out of his chest. He fumbled for his phone, his fingers trembling so badly he could barely dial the emergency number. The police arrived quickly, their faces grim as they searched his backyard. They found nothing. No footprints, no signs of forced entry, no trace of the smiling man. He tried to explain what he had seen, his voice shaking, his words tumbling over each other in his haste. They listened patiently, but he could see the skepticism in their eyes. They left, offering empty reassurances. He hasn't slept peacefully since. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves outside his window, sends him spiraling back to that night. The smiling man, though unseen, has cast a long shadow over his life. He is a prisoner in his own home, his sanctuary now a cage of fear. Every night, he meticulously checks the locks, his heart pounding with the chilling certainty that one day, the smiling man will return.